It's the Center Fantasy Football League podcast.
Welcome to football.
Oh, I'm a football player.
Coach, I'd like to tackle him right now. Not yet.
Reviewing all of the league's scores and highlights.
These boys may have lost, but they in no way disgraced themselves. They disgraced me.
I think I made him shit himself.
And previewing the upcoming matchups and scenarios.
Red 7.
I don't know what Red 7 means.
Hot route.
I don't. What is hot route?
Will you just go stand on the other side, please?
Fuck you. Fuck you, little walk-on fuck.
Do you think it's possible that your mom won't love you anymore if she sees how bad you're losing in the game? That's why your guys are out partying, mine are running routes.
And now here's your host,
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
David Harbadkin.
Hello and welcome to the Center Fantasy Football Podcast, episode 4 of season 11. Joining us on the program this week, well, we have the Hagglers again.
Yes, unfortunately we do.
And filling in for the commissioner, not in his commissionership duties, but in the victorious duties, the coach of the first place. 4-0, undefeated, the only undefeated team left. Mr. Well, we call him Jimmy Kimmel, but Jim Siobhan.
I actually am taking over commissionership for the week.
I mean, it's one of the easier commissionerships to do.
We're getting rid of kickers next season.
Get rid of the defenses after this week. The kicker slightly fucked me this week, but the defense is what fucked me.
Speaking of which, who's playing the Giants this week in defense?
Yeah, get rid of the defenses. It's all special teams. It's part of the game. All right. So yeah, let's look at the shit show that happened. That was the week that was. Would you like to start with your game, or I mean, because generally, Eugene is our one fan, so we usually leave him to last. But you're welcome to go first if you'd like. Well,
You can pick the order. I don't mind.
Well, we'll let you pick the order. You're the guest.
Let's go top to bottom.
All right. 1603ers versus Clever Name Pending.
Dave gets to relive the nightmare.
Yeah, this is an absolute fucking nightmare. So not only is it a nightmare, but fucking Yahoo says Clever Name Pending dominates. Do they have any other word than dominates this year? It's
so lazy this year.
He did not dominate me. This is...
They haven't updated the AI since 2016, Dave.
Go get some Bing or whatever, the Chat GPT. This is ridiculous.
They should. Honestly, that if I was product manager for this, that's one of the first things I would do. Is I would have I would have an AI and a model write the real recaps and have them be good and not just the same bullshit.
Exactly, but they have us hooked. So why would they bother? Yeah. So basically, this game came down to. So I think I sent out the statistics on my two Monday night. So my two losses this season. So here's just some info on my two losses this year. I lost 2 games. The 2 teams that I have lost to, I was their only win. Both had their defense score over 25 points on Monday night. Both scored in the 150s against me, and both didn't break 100 points in any other week this season. So yeah. Play your defense on Monday night against me and get a win. It was a slow unfolding nightmare. So I mean, look, it was largely, especially after McCaffrey got his 48 points. I thought, all right, this game is in hand. I didn't even notice that he had the Seattle defense, by the way. I just thought he had Daniel Jones, and I thought the Monday night matchup was Daniel Jones versus Geno Smith. I didn't really even tune into the game. I took a nap. I woke up. And then I looked at my phone and it had an update that said, because Geno Smith had thrown the touchdown to DK Metcalf, and the update had said 136 to 131 at that point. And I'm like, I was up by 20. How is Daniel Jones having the game of his life? And then I turned it on and I found out, no, he's not. he's just atrocious along with the entire team. But it was still maintaining a slow, steady, horrific burn every time that the Giants would get the ball. It was just a nightmare. There's nothing good that could happen. I mean, it was brilliant to play your own quarterback against your own crappy defense. So no matter what happens, I'm screwed. And then he threw, but it was still manageable. But then he throws the pick six. The one thing he couldn't do was throw a pick six to his own defense, and he did. And then it was just downhill from that. And then Geno Smith had no reason to throw the ball. It was just a slow unfolding nightmare, and dear God. That's all
it's pretty brutal, Dave, to be honest.
It was a brutal loss, and I've lost now. I've gifted 2 wins to the bottom, like Nick and Bowtie. Oh, and by the way, also to add insult to injury, so of course I get texted after the game. Part of whatever. This is the part of the text that's interesting. Also, you're not going to like this, but I almost dropped the Seattle defense for basically anybody else, but I was too busy getting scammed over an apartment, whatever. And since it was Monday Night Football, it was them or the Giants by the time I got around to it. So he wasn't even going to play them. He just forgot. He was busy with other things in his life. And then by the time he got around to it, that's what he was left with. So he wasn't even going to play them.
Wait,
well,
he forgot to have a defense in the lineup, or how did he get to Monday night?
No, he wasn't gonna play the Seattle defense this week, but he was busy with other stuff on Sunday that he was dealing with, so he forgot about it. And then by the time he was done dealing with whatever he was dealing with in his life, all that was left was the Giants or the Seabags, and he's not gonna play the Giants, so he just kept them in there. But that wasn't gonna be the defense that he was gonna use. So, because he got screwed in life, I got screwed in this game.
Well, when I saw 48 from McCaffrey, I thought that matchup was done.
Me too. Me too.
48.7 from McCaffrey. I was like, this is over.
I mean, it was because it was close threat. So, Diggs kept scoring, and Nakua, he got that touchdown in overtime, but he kept scoring. But then we had massive output from McLaurin and from Nico Collins, who got a bomb at the end.
You had a great game.
What?
138.
I know.
You're trying to find logic in the illogical. It's illogical that you lost this game.
I know. But 30 points from the defense, just like the 25 from Nick's defense on Monday night a couple weeks ago. And yeah, I just don't even know what to say. And by the way, he did leave Ayuk on the bench with 20 points. So he could have competed for the top points for this week. I don't know. I mean, add another, what is that? 20 or 18, another 18 to this. What is that? 170. No, what is, I'm so bad at math. 168. I mean, all right. He couldn't have beaten primetime, but anybody else, highest score of the week. Ridiculous.
So Dave, through 4 weeks, you have the second highest scoring offense and tied for the most points scored against, which is basically just the luck factor.
Yeah.
Tied for the unluckiest.
Yeah. I mean, but that's the way it goes. I mean, look, I'm the biggest advocate of whatever it may be that you have to, I don't care about most points. I think that because I play strategy, I'll see somebody have a guy like as their quarterback, and I will sometimes play a wide receiver that they have to take points away from them. I mean, that's just how I play the game. So I mean, I'm deserving in that of the losses here because that's my theory, and I'm
you did nothing wrong though.
What?
You did nothing wrong, so you can't beat yourself up. You're beating yourself
What
up.
did we do wrong?
I'll tell you what I did wrong though. I had McManus, and I got rid of him last week after he turned into a poor performance, and I get an even worse performance from my gay kicker, who has -1. He cost me a point in a game that I needed points, whereas McManus, he got 15. So you add 16 points to this. Do I win? I think I lose by a point, right? No, I win, right? Add 16
in my head that you have a gay kicker.
What? I know. Well, I mean, that's part of the reason I got it.
Would you say his performance was pretty gay?
If this was the 90s, I would say that.
I know. We can't say anything now.
If
Let's
we were
see.
a publicly funded broadcast, this would be shut down right here.
Let's see.
If you didn't have a
McAnus-
gay performance, you'd have won.
So McAnus got 15.7 points, right? 15.7 plus obviously 1 plus 138.5 equals 155.2. Had I just kept my stupid kicker, I would have won this game.
We'd be banned from this. You need to get rid of the gay on your team. We'd be shut down by the FCC.
I mean,
everyone's clear. We're a very LBGT.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, and I'm referring to the. Not that there's anything wrong with that, and I'm referring to the kicker. Obviously, not me. There's always gonna be some gay on this team. So anyway, yeah, that's all I have to say.
Don't beat yourself up, Dave.
What?
Your team's good. Your team's good. You're only a couple games back. You're in the hunt. Like, you have nothing but you should be optimistic. Is what I'm trying to say.
I'm never optimistic. I'm constantly pessimistic about everything. And these are my. I will say it was at least for somebody as neurotic as me. It's nice to just sometimes when you lose in this fashion, which is like your nightmare, like like I stay up at night fearing things like this happening to me. So when it kind of does, it just makes you numb. It's like, it's like you got shot and you're just like, okay, I'm just drift off and whatever.
How you should feel is just alive. Makes you feel alive.
I do not. I feel vaguely alive in the playoff hunt, but I feel I'm a broken man this week. All right, let's move on. So we're just going down the line. Let's go down the line. So this is the rivalry game between the commissioner and his burner team. He let the burner team win this week. As
to throw off suspicion because he was already 3-0.
Right, exactly. If he's gonna get a win, he might as well get it to his burner team, because it was getting a little too hot there. All right, so 130.30 to 114.92. He's finally starting to get over 100 now. So Richardson gets 33, 23.32 for Purdy. I mean, where was this game? I mean, Mumra gets 16, Devontae Adams with 15, so pretty close there. Kirk with 16, 14 for Lamb. Swift
Except
with
for his
7.
end, every position had output.
Yeah, I know.
Good
17. Recipe. So really, I think RB2 is where this game. No, not even, because all right, Williams gets 3.9 and Pierce gets 11, but then his tight end makes up with it for 14 to 1 point. The flexes were pretty much almost even, 15 to 14, and once again this is it's special teams that won this game for Gronky Kong. 10 points for the kicker, 10.9, and 17 for Baltimore, and then 2 and 5 for Manny. So
yeah,
I mean, look,
20-point swing.
Yeah, I mean, this is the second game of the week won by special teams. I know you don't like the kickers or whatever else. I actually look. It drives me nuts when it affects the games, but I do think, and I've historically had a problem with kickers, like picking poor kickers. I do think people stream defenses. I mean, it's one of the most strategic positions on a week to week basis for a lot of teams. Is like, what defense are they going to play against what matchup? Yeah. I mean, and kickers the same thing. I mean, I played it strategically and just I was completely wrong, because the week before the guy had whatever, five points or something. I don't know. I just think that there's like in the special teams, that's actually where a lot of the weekly strategy goes. Whereas
it's like a special teams and strategy. Yeah.
I mean, because whereas like your top 7 guys, they're usually guys that you have on your team, and there's some like, all right, who do I play over this? But there's a lot of handcuffs, there's a lot of other stuff in there.
Right.
And I know Gronky
position to stream on a week to week basis. Which makes it a little bit more interactive. I'm with you.
Then
I'm going to take that off the table for changing.
I mean, for whatever you want, but I'm just saying. Anyway, but Gronky Kong especially is one of those. His burner team is one of those teams that does go out and gets himself some defense often. I know. He did leave 34 points for Montgomery on the bench there. That's painful.
Click on Montgomery. He's hasn't been going off like that.
I don't think he has. So yeah, 13-12. I guess Atlanta, he didn't play. He exploded for 3 touchdowns and then 34 in this
Scroll
game.
down on his news to see what happened in his last game that he didn't play.
Well, let me know when.
Well, the last
Nothing
game.
personal. Montgomery scores 3 more TDs. Back in action. So I guess he had a thigh issue again in week, in week 3. So that's, I don't know.
It's even before that. Don't worry about it. All right.
I mean, well, there's nothing. I'm sure on the phone it probably has more, but this doesn't give you that much on this.
Yeah.
Like, only lets you go down so far.
That's what he said.
I mean, I don't see any real big. I mean, Dobbs and Warren, though. I mean, I guess Warren would have made it closer, but still. I mean, and by the way, and the QB actually made the difference here. There's 11 points there. Or 10 points. So makes it, throws the scent off, and yeah.
It was a battle. Both it was close.
Yeah, both of his teams. Mm-hmm. All right. I don't know. All right, let's go down to this game. He's taken away. What happened here?
Wow, what happened here? Not much actually on the left-hand side of the screen.
This week.
Well, actually, David saying sorry was actually to me.
Yeah,
because those were all golf points, but they ran it in every time from the one.
Well, actually, I will say I'll give Yahoo credit here. They said crushes instead of dominates, so they mixed. So you actually got a crush rather than a.
We actually got crushed instead of dominated.
I mean, you turned this game on. What? You turned the games off by noon. What?
Yeah, I was a 90-10 favorite to lose before 4:00 once again. But we put all of our eggs in the Denver Bears hard game, and one of the running backs actually did something, and the other one was horrid. Yeah. And then, of course, I mean, when you do that, you run the risk of somebody blowing up on the bench, which they probably did. If you want to scroll down a little further. Oh yeah, there it is. 26.38 from Derrick Henry, and then you can scroll back up.
And Derrick Henry, by the way, the who you were given plenty shit for the trade, and then he goes, and then this week you bench him against. This was like your worst nightmare against Dr. Hockey that you could possibly imagine, because he gives you shit last week on the podcast because of Derrick Henry. You bench him this week, and then he does blow it up, but on your bench. I mean,
well, fortunate, I guess if you want to say, fortunately for me, the score was so lopsided, it wouldn't matter if every Derrick Henry was in there. If I had 9 Derrick Henrys, I still wouldn't have won this week.
That's true. He had a week. I mean, even
he had the score every week.
Well, even Cole Kmet, he picked up that morning, and
my God, that was probably the worst part of the whole thing, because he had Fant from the Seahawks in up until like right before kickoff. And I think, like, I'm gonna go with some Kmet. Like, why? Like, it was a whatever. And then instead of running it up and down the field on the worst run defense in the NFL, guess what? They threw it on the worst pass defense in the NFL. And the Broncos are the worst team in the galaxy. If the Bears weren't, equally as horrific. The Bears were up, I think, 28-7 at one point, and they still lost 31-20. They suck so bad. And then Kmet had himself a field day. I mean, Hurts would actually play action it to my guy and throw it to Hockey's guy, Kmet. Final pile up, 27.6 points. And then, of course, we all gave him a rash of shit for the A-Train or the A-Chain. And then all I kept hearing from David, another touchdown for the A-Chain. Oh, really?
I wasn't saying it like happily because I had Mostert. I was saying it like another one. Come on.
And then, Josh Jacobs blows it up. And then my sister, who doesn't even watch football, she's like, oh, A.J. Brown just scored a 70-yard touchdown. I'm like, Great. My sister doesn't even know the first thing about football. She's like, "Did you see AJ Brown?" I go, "I didn't even answer."
Did she know that you were playing against him in fantasy?
No, I just threw that in at the end. Actually, his biggest weep on Tyreek Hill didn't even bother to show up. Neither did Mahomes.
Yeah,
they didn't have to.
They didn't have to.
He'd have like 300 points.
Yeah, no, so it's funny. Like, so Geese and I usually talk before the game. We're like, we just we have the games on, and then we have the phone on, and it's like a whatever. We'll talk during the games. And so I call him up right before they start, and he's like, it's my favorite time of the week. And I'm like, right before your players start blowing it for you? And he's like, yeah. And then anyway, normally we talk throughout the day. Like what? You were done by 2?
I went to
just
sleep
like you're just like, I'm gonna go take a nap.
Like, I'm done for the day. I'm going to sleep. I have an early day tomorrow.
Yeah.
At 2:00 in the afternoon after getting whooped.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to bed at 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah, 2 in the afternoon. I'm like, Dave, I'm going to bed. I got an early day tomorrow. Might as well get an early start. I mean, when Yahoo has you down 90-10 at like 1:30, it's over.
Well, Dr. Hockey brings it against you every time he possibly can.
I don't know. The comment trade or the pickup was just. I think that was the worst part of this whole experience. I mean, the A chain was bad enough. Getting text from my sister about Brown. That was a slap in the face. And then throw in Komet. I mean, it was just a horrible week.
And Henry on the bench. I mean, like
at least I left Henry on the bench though. I salvaged part of this embarrassment by leaving Henry on the bench.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Shark did nothing in the quote unquote Minnesota. I mean, every real team did the opposite of what they were supposed to do. So yeah. That's it. I mean, why don't you hand the ball off to Montgomery for 34 points? Those are my points. Shark and the Panthers are running the ball against the worst pass defense in the NFL. I mean, every time Kamara got going, they threw in Taysom Hill. Right. One of the Bears fucked me because you can't. I mean, which one? If I had taken out Herbert, then Johnson would have blew it up. You had to play both. And then Kittle, of course, 1 point. I mean, he gets 16 last week when I put him on the bench, but now he gets 1.9. And yeah.
Wait, can we go back one? You said there was multiple Bears and you have to play them both. Can you explain that to me?
Oh yeah, because the Dolphins ran up like 500 yards rushing, so I went all in.
Well, that's how eight. Okay. Yeah, because A-Chain and Mostert both had like 48 50 last week.
Monster game. So you don't want to be the guy that leaves the one on the bench that plays the monster game, and you get the 2.5 performance out of the other one. But luckily for me, it didn't matter because I lost by 100 points anyway. I mean, I think
Well, on the bright side, at least, Kamara got 21 in his return, so you should feel good about that.
Yeah. There's building blocks for the Trey
and
the Trey game.
Yeah, I mean, so your running backs are okay. Your running backs are okay, and that's all. I don't know. There's that.
Yeah.
All right.
On to the next game, or an actual game that was played.
Are we going to your game, or are we skipping that for last?
Up to you, Dave.
We'll skip it. Let's see. All right. Let's go. Lightning Rods versus Nick and Jamie. What happened? The Lightning Rods were looking amazing, and then.
Well, that's because Keenan Allen doesn't get 47 points. He gets a more pedestrian score.
Yeah. See, this is Keenan Allen 12. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
27 points for D. Those are my points once again.
For who?
There's my points. They're all over the league. Komet and DJ. There's my points. Oh, where's your points? Why'd you lose? Oh, there they are.
Drop these guys?
There they are.
I don't know if he dropped plenty of guys, but no, he means more like that they're.
I should have had.
Like, in other words, his running backs and the players that he all played, they all went to other people.
Right.
Oh, got you. Okay. That wasn't funny.
But there are plenty of points that went around that he traded away or dumped in the garbage can and were picked up by other. I mean, there's plenty of those. All right, so looking at this game, Cousins actually had one of his worst games of the season with only 13 points, 25 for Herbert, even though he had some kind of injury, I know. Olave only 1.4. I don't know what happened there.
Kamara happened. That's what happens when Kamara comes back.
Yeah, that makes sense. Chase and Brown 16, so they did pretty well with Keenan Allen getting 12.2, Kenneth Walker with 13.9. I mean, the Seattle didn't even need to do anything in that game, but Walker was, running 5. Nick and Jamie, so they finally get Aaron Jones back, but he only gets 2.4 points. And then Miles Sanders only gets 6.2 against Minnesota. I don't even know what's going on there. Gus the Bus gets 6.9. Did anybody pick up the league whore Justice Hill yet? Pitts, I mean, they touted that guy like, whatever years ago. He's just not. Mrs. Taylor Swift gets 12. 27 for DJ Moore, 10 for Reed, and then 2 and oh my god, another like these special teams performances are unbelievable. It's 14.6 and 27 for the Dallas defense. My god.
41-5 special teams.
I mean, look, the team they have pretty bad running backs, but I mean, it makes up for it with when you get 27 points from your Dallas defense. And I mean, like, I don't even know how to analyze it. This is just a meh game. Although, they dominated. Nick and Jamie dominates the Lightning Rods. They didn't get crushed, but they dominated.
They didn't get crushed. No.
I mean, again, like there was a lot of guys who had output, right? Like it was Sanders 6.2, Jones 2.4. Other than that, everyone else had output.
Yeah.
And in this case, you only needed one guy to pop. That one guy was Dallas's defense.
Yep. Which had the same amount as DJ Moore, which equalizes everything else. And, and Olave only having 1.4 really screwed him over there. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like, it's just back. So there was no bench players. He played the perfect bench there. And both of these guys, they played the best bench, the best players that they could. And this is what they ended up with. I mean, God, I don't even know what to say. 27 points, and for the defense, you get 117 as your total. God, what is that? 90 without him? Oh, man. All right. Well, whatever. And there's nothing left on. Oof. I mean, somebody had to win. All right. Speaking of sub 100 games, the Detroit Whalers defeat the Zamunda line. I mean, he wanted to make it close in this one. My gosh, 98.46 to 90.5 against Zamunda. I wasn't even.
Oh, we got a triumph over Zamunda. He didn't crush them. He didn't dominate them. He merely
triumph. Well, because it's Zamunda. It's that's how the lingo down there in Zamunda. A most ripping victory. So, I mean,
you just skip all the commentary and go right down to the defense and kicker.
Yeah, I mean, 13-5 versus 4.2 and -2 for the Pittsburgh defense. By the way, the -2 from the Pittsburgh defense that got 25 against me on Monday night. Just saying, but whatever. Yeah, this entire team is garbage except for Allen. That's why nobody's shopping at Zmart. I mean, that's why the league numbers are down. That's why Eugene is doing so poorly. We'll get to that later. I mean, we just said the activation word, so he's going to listen now. But like. There's nothing to shop. The shelves are bare at Zmart, which is really.
Come on over to Gmart. Come over to Gmart. We've got Kamara's and Henry's price to move.
I mean, Allen, I guess 44 points for him, but nobody else did anything.
Allen literally had half of Nick's score, 45 of 90. The rest of the team couldn't muster 40 points.
Yeah.
And the defense did its part by taking 2 points away.
Yeah, exactly.
It canceled out Hurst.
Yeah, I mean, Whalers doesn't need that good of a performance, So I mean, Hertz gets 28, 11 for Ridley. I mean, the middle doesn't really have much. Etienne at least breaks double digits. Godert with 4, Moss with 9, 5. And the Tampa Bay defense. Let's see, what did they leave on the bench here? Stafford and Dotson. Pacheco got 24.8. Ingram. Oh wow. Fields got 35.9 finally. Fields whose garbage can did he pick him up out of? It was lightning rods, right?
Lightning rods, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there's such garbage in the league. He's not the raccoon isn't even shopping lately. He's been quite quiet lately.
Is Nick keeping IR players in his actual roster instead of putting them on IR?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, why bother? There's nobody even to pick up.
Yeah.
What garbage are you going to fill in there? I don't know. This is
That's one thing I have to say about this league is that nobody really slips through the waiver cracks.
Well, they might at the end of the year when everybody has spent all of their money on like backups. That, I mean, I've certainly spent a ton of money already on, and I have like nothing to show for it. Who else? I mean, Hockey spent 125. He has plenty to show for it. Well, he spent more than that, but
that sounds like my actual existence in real life. I spent all my money with nothing to show for it. At least it's only happening to you in fantasy.
So a funny thing about the KC running back, right? So he's a Jersey guy.
Is he?
Yeah, he went to Russell. Yep.
Right? And he scored his touchdown in his home stadium. As soon as he scored, he starts to celebrate. And what do they do on the broadcast?
They show Taylor Swift.
They cut to Taylor Swift's reaction to the touchdown. Little disrespectful.
I wonder how long that's going to go on. I think it's finally starting.
I mean, it was a primetime game. It just kind of blew up.
Yeah.
Like one of the podcasts I listened to, they were talking to somebody from KC and they're like, what's the biggest story of the Chiefs this week? He's like, hate to say it, but it's obviously Taylor Swift because it's like taking on a life of its own. It's got national media. It's got world media.
Yeah. I mean.
And I honestly, I think there is kind of something to the refs kind of throwing the game so that to keep viewership of the Chiefs. Just saying.
I mean, wouldn't surprise me. I saw a TikTok actually, like a conspiracy theory TikTok, of course, but about how they felt the games were fixed. I mean, I don't believe it necessarily, but who knows? Whatever. Either way, they're fixing it to make my fantasy team. If they could fix it to make my fantasy teams better, I would really appreciate it. All right. This was a closer game than whatever, but I mean, Eugene, I appreciate you keeping Eugene in the basement. It's nice to not have to like listen to him constantly.
I was sweating there for a minute too.
Yeah, well, go through the game. I mean, because you got to dominate. They're really getting lazy. I mean, how is it possible? They used to actually have better headlines before AI was a thing. Like, I don't understand how they're so bad now.
If honestly, you won,
I just don't think they've been updated since they first came out. It's literally right, like since they started that. We're talking like 2008. Like when did they introduce this? It's been the same recaps, the same, same everything.
It's like EA Sports. They're like, whatever. We got you hooked.
Another thing too is right. Like in your game recap, it'll give you like that little chart that says like the scores over time. You're right, and who took the lead when, whatever.
Yeah.
Like why can't they show that here on this screen for every game? Right, because that way, if it was a game that was like back and forth, like it would be another thing you could talk about.
Yeah.
They don't show you any of that. Right. And he can give you even like little highlights, like, oh, this is when they took the lead on a 70-yard touchdown pass to this guy. Like, okay, cool. Like, why can't it's so easy to like give you that kind of analytics, and it just doesn't.
I wonder if they do you play on any of the other apps?
I've used CBS, ESPN.
I once, like years ago, I was
Oh,
on
man.
ESPN, I think. I don't know. I mean, I still like I like Yahoo's interface. Like, like this stuff aside, I happen to like their
It works.
yeah. I didn't I
You can
definitely
pull it up
didn't
on
like
any laptop, even if it's from 2001. It'll still work.
yeah, I know. I mean, I
Same
mean, but
code
yeah.
from 2001.
Well, this stuff it's annoying, but yeah, I definitely I didn't like the ESPN app as much. I don't know. The one improvement that I do think that has made a difference is because they used to not notify you whenever a move was made in the league. I don't know when they started doing that. That was more recently. I definitely like that because now I see everything that's happening all times. I don't know, but other than that, there hasn't been much change. So
Yeah.
all right, we'll go through your game. What were your emotions throughout the weekend as this game took place?
I felt pretty good. My team got off to a pretty good start. Things were clicking. All my guys were put up like points early. They were all up to like 8 to 10 points, like in the first quarter. I was like, all right, I'm doing good. His team wasn't really doing much. I mean, my team had a pretty good week, but his team had a pretty good week too. But then, I mean, the end of it basically came down to Garrett Wilson on what was that? Sunday Night Football?
Sunday
Monday
Night
Night
Football.
Football?
Yeah.
And I was kind of sweating it out because he started off, he got like 11 points in the first half. And what did I win by? So it basically came down in the last 3 quarters of the Jets game. If Garrett Wilson would have scored a touchdown catch, I would have lost.
Yeah.
Basically how close it was. So I was sweating that game. Also, I'm a Jets fan. It was a close game against the Chiefs. What do I want more than anything else? A touchdown pass to Garrett Wilson.
All right.
So how conflicted could a Jets fantasy guy be?
This is why I just don't pick up Jets, by the way. I just don't. I mean, in addition to the
See, this wasn't self-inflicted. It's not my Jet. It was a team I was playing.
No, I know, but but a lot. You usually do pick up Jets, though. I think
this is the first season I haven't had any.
And you look at the success that you're having.
I would love to have Brees Hall on my team, but he wouldn't be helping my team.
Yeah.
I like the only one to survive a lopsided special teams performance. So it was 22-8, but you actually won the game. You're the only one.
Also,
everybody else lost the special teams.
Yeah, actually, but speaking of the special teams, he had Gano the first week, like -5 or something ridiculous. Ever since then, he picked up Elliott, and Elliott's been one of his better players this year. As far as your team, so there's been a bunch of really like quiet, good pickups that you had. CJ Stroud was a great pickup. I mean, like,
I dropped Purdy for that. I wasn't sure if that was the right move at the time.
Oh, clearly it was.
Laporte. Click on Stroud. Like, those are good numbers. Just saying.
No, look, as somebody who has Nico Collins, I know. Trust me, he's been really good.
Yeah.
Do you have another quarterback? I mean, do you keep? Oh, yeah, that's right. You had Aaron Rodgers, right?
Aaron fucking Rodgers, which he would have been good. It would have been a good quarterback.
I know.
Team. I would have really liked to have him.
No, I mean, you also
too. We said I don't take Jets, right? I took a Jet as my quarterback.
Sure, but I mean that one actually made sense, in the draft. I mean, you had a really good draft too. I mean, Justin Jefferson.
I spent a lot of money on him.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah. Porsche, he's been good. LaPortia, Kyron Williams. I mean,
I spent $69 on Jefferson in the draft.
Yeah, well, I mean that's average in this league. Brian, remember you finally dropped, I think, one of the Commanders' running backs, right?
Yeah,
but I mean, oh yeah, that's Bijan. That's right. You had both. You had Bijan and Brian. That's right. You had. God, that's why I kept getting confused. Right, Bijan. Yeah, that was a great pickup too. I mean, I know that he was. I tend to not go for like the flashy hot like new guy, but I guess they were right on this one.
I rolled the dice on him a little bit. I spent 57 on the draft, which is a lot for a guy who hasn't proven shit in the league, right?
Right.
Just once in and I usually don't kind of pay high price for that. Also, too, I took Jefferson and Robinson back to back, the first 2 picks of the draft.
All right.
I don't know if you remember that, but I spent $110 in the first 2 picks of the draft, maybe like the first couple picks. But yeah, I just kind of rolled the dice on them, and I felt good about it. And I had, so far, it looks like a home run pick.
Yeah. I mean, but I remember you. I just thinking like when out of the draft, you had a good team coming out of the draft, and you've made some good moves like just along the way. Anyway,
the clock, broken clock's right twice a day, something like that, right?
Yeah, you're always in it though. Every year, generally. I mean, there's been years. I mean, there was the one year where you were you had very much the kind of season that Manny was having early, where you would just win games, but like you would get no points. You just,
Oh,
but
the spider.
Yeah, the spider.
Oh,
web.
the spider web. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, we had fun with that.
Yeah.
That was a
You
good
got Dave. You actually beat Dave with spider web.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found a lot of joy in that season. It's like those games where it's like, my team's playing like shit, but I still might win.
Yeah.
And then it happens like week after week after week.
That was one of our better bits all season, the spider.
Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely one of the better ones. I mean, and then there was the year, I don't even know if we were doing the podcast back then. I mean, but when you made it to the final against LeVar, right? Is that what it was?
I forget.
I don't know. No, but I mean, you've always kind of been around and just haven't gotten over the hump yet. I don't know. Well, perhaps this is it. I don't know.
Nah, probably not.
Yeah, who knows? Everything.
T. Higgins, 3.9 points. Like, come on, T.
I don't know, but I think you've been playing really. You've been playing really well this season. You have a good team. Everybody else sucks except for Dr. Hogg. I mean, that he's. Although I don't know. I don't know. I just catching me on the week where I'm distraught by decisions that are made. I got caught in the spider web.
What's going on with Deshaun? He's got a shoulder. Didn't rape anybody, did he?
No, I'm sure if his shoulder's bothering him, he could just go to a masseuse or something. He'll be fine. Work that knot out. All right. Well, anything else in this game? I mean, so Russell Wilson, 28 points there, still less than Lamar Jackson. So, but my theory that still holds that Eugene, every year that he has not traded with Z-Mart, he's been in like almost last place. Whenever he trades with Z-Mart, like that's the key to his strategy. So he will always his draft strategy to me is he picks up ADP, players above their average draft, whatever, so he's doing like the ADP stuff. But in an auction draft, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why? Who cares? Like, like the above draft position or whatever it is that all the analysts tell him. He's always getting those players that are better than like what the average draft position is. But in an auction, that doesn't matter. There's no draft position. Just go get who you want. He finally spent some money this year.
I mean, there's something to be said for that strategy. Like
I don't know, but I always say that the key to his strategy is then go shop them at Z-Mart. And the problem is that he hasn't been able to shop at Z-Mart. The other season he wasn't shopping at Z-Mart, which was the year that Nick won, by the way, because we made fun of Nick mercilessly. We were just on Nick mercilessly, like, please do not do it. That was the year that Nick won. This is fun, So I don't
know. One thing about my team. Scroll down to the bench real quick.
Sure.
That player that I have on IR.
Mm-hmm. Think he might come back?
Think he might be back by the time I would need him to come back?
He might. I actually
see the lack of boot that he was walking around in the other night.
Yeah, I know. I think he's gonna do it. I think he might actually try.
He already said on the Pat McAfee show?
Mr. Pfizer. That's all I heard. The only clip I heard was the Mr. Pfizer clip.
Oh. Well, he was saying something about just the only way you can have miraculous recoveries like that is by willing it to happen and doing everything you can and a little bit believing in God. bunch of stuff, and you do all that, and he's like, that's how stuff like that happens. And he's
I mean,
trying to will it to happen, basically.
I mean, I could tell you my one center championship was like months before I had gone to Taiwan, and they had like these balloons that you would set off, like that you would put wishes on or whatever else. And my wish was to win, the championship. that's what, and I did. Now, granted, I immediately started pissing blood the day that I won the championship, so there was some punishment back from God for winning, but but that's been taken care of at least.
Good.
He was probably, is God's way of saying, maybe you should have asked for health. But I'll give you the fantasy football championship since you asked.
That's a good point. The next time I'm given the opportunity to wish for something, I'm going to wish for health.
Right. I definitely will too. Though I really do want championships. Don't get me wrong.
I think we're done telling Eugene to play Addison instead of Madison. I think that's all done.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. I mean, like, he's actually he got a good performance out of Andrews.
16,
More
16,
than
11, 0.
That's pretty good.
I mean, most of his performance was actually from that Baltimore game. I don't know. We'll see how he does. I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll go over all that stuff after the break. Let's we could take the break now. But I mean, I know Geese doesn't need it as much because he had a very long pre-podcast poop, but just in case anybody wants to go refresh their drink for 20 seconds as we
all right,
take our little break. We'll be back right after this. All right, welcome back to the show.
Your opponent's hungry this week. Literally.
Yes, we have a costume change. We have a string cheese. We have you should make some poutine. Then you can wear that next time. All right, let's take a look at the I can never find the stupid thing. What happened to the We should look at the games. I don't know where it is. All right. God. I was so much better in the first half of this show. Show all windows. That would probably help. Yeah. Okay. Here it is. Here. There you go. All right. So let's go over the transactions. Very small. Oh wow, what is this? I haven't even seen. Are these new? I don't even remember seeing this. Wow, look at this. See, look. There you are. You 2016 King Semi Squad.
7 years ago.
Yeah. Wow. All right. But that's not what I'm looking for. I would like to see the transaction. Yeah, very small transaction window today. So what do we have? One? That was it. Oh yeah. So the finest bid $2 for Sam Howell. I bid 30. Well, I don't. I feel like an idiot.
Dave overpaying.
I mean, I was saying this before the podcast. So everybody's a lunatic in this league. So I wanted him. I had a quarterback on a bye. He's playing the Bears this week. I thought there might be a chance somebody might bid on him. And if somebody was going to bid over 30, they could have him. I would have found somebody else. But I just thought this was the best matchup for this week.
Oh, if somebody bid over 30, they certainly could have had him.
Yeah, I know. No, but I'm saying they would have deserved him. So whatever. I wasn't bidding anyone.
Well, you certainly deserved him at 30.
I know. I do.
Dave, I have a quarterback here. You can have him for $3. What's that? You want to pay me 10 times that amount?
It's not like
sure,
I
Dave.
know.
Sure,
you never know what people. I mean, did you think that A Chain was going to go for 125. What was the other one? 107. Who went 2 weeks ago for 107? Somebody.
That was Ford.
Oh, Ford. Ford went for 107. Yeah, we didn't even talk about him in Eugene's game. I don't know. So let's see. But and then I paid 80 for stupid Josh Kelly.
Wait, Eugene was playing against me, a guy he paid $107 for?
Yeah.
He was on the bench.
Yeah.
He didn't even play him.
Did he not play him?
Yep. He got 9 points on the bench.
Yeah. Paid 107 for him. Okay, so I guess it's all today. So it would be let's see, the waiver stuff. So $30 for Howell. Then there were some pickups for money, though. It just wasn't contested. So you had Jaleel McLaughlin going for 19. So at least as stupid as I might feel, I spent $30 on a quarterback and the next bid was 2. Some of these guys bid, money, and literally nobody else wanted them. They didn't even want them. So Jaleel McLaughlin, 19.
He's playing the Bears. Come on.
Sure. Michael Wilson for 12. $9 for Josh Reynolds. $7 for the Buffalo defense going against Jacksonville. I don't know if that's a good pick. Because they're going to London for that game. And Jacksonville's already in London, and they've been sitting in London all week. And Buffalo's going over there. I don't think that's as good as a pick as he thinks it is. Picks Chuba Hubbard for $5, dropping Ezekiel Elliott, which he was. If he's not going to have a good game against the Cowboys, his former team, then he's not going to have a good game. Jonnu Smith for $1. I picked up.
We just point out that we're at the point of our career where people are dropping Ezekiel Elliott, and it's like no big thing.
I mean, yeah, we're old.
Good luck to whoever picked up Josh Reynolds, because what tends to happen with him is you find out that he got into a car accident and didn't make it to the game 4 hours after the game's over.
He's not very good at updating anybody.
That's what happened to me. He had but according to Adam Schefter, he was good to go.
I saw him in pregame warmups.
I saw him get into his car this morning. I don't know.
If good to go means he ripped his groin in half and he's in the hospital during the game, he's definitely good to go. Oh wait, 4 hours later and the game's over? Turns out he wasn't so good to go. He's having surgery right now to put his groin back together. But we would have liked that information 12 hours ago.
He should be fine for next week, though.
Yeah. We'll give him a Q. Actually, so now we'll list him as out now that the game's over and you can't do anything about it. But we'll make sure that he's a Q the second that you could add people. So he's no longer, so you got to take up another spot on your roster.
Aaron Rodgers might come back before he can, but he's good to go.
Yeah.
Put him in there. Put me in, coach.
So, yeah. Anyway, nothing good in the transaction. I mean, nothing stands out to me there. As far as the standings, yeah, we have one man atop the league right now, 4-0.
What a guy.
Yeah, what a guy.
What a winner.
We do have SF Primetime with almost 100 more points than you, but he has that L.
100 more points more than anybody, other than you.
Well, yeah, that's true. But he has who did he lose to? It was the second week of the season he lost. He lost to somebody. I mean, obviously.
Me.
Was it?
Yeah, I beat him 137 to 89.
All right, there you go. See, so all right. The finest finally take the L, moving to 3-1. And then the 1603ers, yeah, I mean,
I feel like now that they have Tupac's killer, I feel like it's freed me to be a good manager of fantasy football.
I mean, whatever it takes.
I mean, look at the two people Dave lost to. Look where they are in the standings.
Yeah, they're sitting right above Hackettstown.
Right above me, actually. That should tell you the caliber of the teams that Dave lost to.
It's so unlucky, though. It's really just
look at where they are. Look at where they'll stay.
Oh yeah, I'm actually curious.
Hey, I beat Dave.
We should take a poll. We should see if they ever score over 100 again for the rest of the season. I'm willing to bet.
T-shirts made. I beat Dave. I finished
Let's
1
see
and
if they
15,
score
right?
up. Let's see if they break 100 again this season. Because they haven't yet, other than in their game against me. 150, both of them. Is that cheese or is that? Oh no, that's your vape. I thought that was like a large piece of brown cheese.
Oh, it's wood actually.
Oh well, you know.
This isn't a vape. This is a diffuser.
I don't know the difference. Which
Basically,
shows...
there's no electronics in here. It's basically like a straw.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm like 6 weeks vape. Like I've quit vaping.
Cool.
So now I suck to a straw to help like get away from this habit.
Okay.
What's next? What are you going to use to break the straw habit?
Cock.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
That's the natural. That's the natural progression.
You need Dave's kicker for that one.
That's how I started. I actually started on straws and then moved on.
But I vaped for 8 years, so quitting, it's kind of cool. And if it took this fucking piece of wood with metal on it for me to do it, cool.
Yeah, I managed to go cold turkey on all of that stuff. So
I went cold turkey when I quit cigarettes. I quit the day my daughter was. I was like, nope, don't want to be that person who has to tell their kids like, oh, sorry, your dad's gonna die because he smoked cigarettes. What a stupid way to die. It really is like one of the dumbest ways to fucking kill yourself.
Yeah, I know. That's why I stopped that after I won my championship. All right. Yeah, so like just looking at where these teams are. God, yeah. So we have a 2-2 bracket, then the large 1-3 contingent right there, of which the Hagglers are the bottom of the 1-3. Wow, 384 is your total this year. I mean, you haven't even.
We also given up. Are we giving up the most points in the league at 548?
Yes, you have. You see, you've scored the least and given up the most. That's a recipe for disaster at this point.
That's the winning.
Oh wow, yeah, you are first in both categories. It's not good.
Yeah,
that's the winning formula.
Yeah.
Yeah, but your team has just been underperforming. It's not like you don't have a bad team.
Well, that's why Yahoo.
Your luck has to change at some point.
Does it? I don't know if it does.
At least you had to win. If you were 0-4, you'd be sunk. But you got to win. You're still in the mix.
I can't wear that I beat Dave hat.
That's true. I mean, you still can. There's still an opportunity for you at the end of the season.
I have one more chance. Yep.
I think you got a 150 in you. Just find that defense. But I mean, the Hagglers traditionally, I mean, you don't usually win a game until like what, week 5, 6? This is early for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You don't
that was
start.
just a teaser.
Yeah.
That was just a teaser preview.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, for the fans, to keep the fans in the seats. We can win, Just keep coming back. Well, we lost by 94. It was close. We had it right where we want them.
I mean, I think you should start dating Taylor Swift, and then maybe that could turn
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, the fans will come back like that. Refs will start doing whatever they want for you.
Chiefs fans probably wouldn't like you too much.
Yeah, actually, Chiefs fans might love it. The Swifties won't like it.
True.
The Chiefs fans might be like, "Oh my God, we actually watch our games now without having to whatever." All right.
Who's doing the Super Bowl this year?
What's that?
They announced who's doing the Super Bowl halftime show. Too early to announce.
I think it's Usher, but I mean, she'll probably do it next year.
Usher is doing it this year?
I think so. I don't know.
You can usher my team out the door. We're done.
I mean, Usher's pretty talented dude. He could probably pull it off good.
To be honest with you, I don't think I've ever watched a Super Bowl halftime show.
Really?
Yeah.
Been some good ones, bro.
I know that there have, but so generally, because the Center Bowl is going on, and usually, or at least it used to be, I used to be so exhausted that
you would take a nap.
That would be the time that I would take a nap between, and then wake up. And there was the year that, when I was back in Jersey that time where I got hit in the ribs. I was just in so much pain. I don't even remember that game. Did I watch it last year? I mean, we were on the cruise last year, so I kind of watched it a little bit. That's like when I go to pee or whatever.
There was a year in the early 90s, and this was had to be like 92, 93. And the Super Bowl halftime show was called like Winter Wonderland. And it was really corny shit. And at the end, Gloria Stefan came out, and that was like it, right? And it had the lowest ratings of any like Super Bowl halftime show like ever. It was like fucking bad. The next year, they're like, we have to change this shit. And they got Michael Jackson to do the halftime show. And ever since then, it's been like superstars. But if you go back to that year, it was like the worst. Not only that, they actually didn't have the highest rated halftime show because In Living Color that year did their own halftime show. I don't know if you guys remember any of that.
I don't.
Yeah, In Living Color like did better ratings than the actual halftime show at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, wasn't there like the Bud Bowl or whatever? Didn't that take place back then or whatever?
That was just a commercial. Like they would do multiple commercials during the game.
Oh yeah. See, this is the stuff I don't remember.
You want to know, like, oh, the Bud scored in the second quarter. They do another commercial. Like,
yeah, that's right. This is the stuff. See, this is the vague stuff that's like just floating in my brain, but I don't really remember any of it.
Yeah, it's weird that I remember any of it.
But anyway,
I've never seen two teams projected to get 80s. Look at Lightning Rod versus Clever Name Pending.
Well, that's a good start.
Before any games even kicked off, it's 87-87.
Let's
now
look
you would think on that and think, oh, some people haven't put in starters, right? Because there's buys.
Mm-hmm.
Lightning Rod's team. That's with everybody playing.
That's everybody.
Yeah, so Clever Name Pending.
Clever Name Pending has two people with zeros, which he's obviously going to take out. That's why he has 87.
Obviously, unless he leaves the Seattle defense in there again, hoping that they have some kind of miracle like they did this time. It might be harder this week. Yes, let's start on this game. Why is this so low? This is terrible.
This is like with everybody projected to play.
My God, what's going on here? And the Jets against Denver, they're only giving. I mean, well, all right, the defensive projections are low. Cook, I mean, oh well, so most of his team is on a bye. He's not putting. Oh, I guess you can't put him in the IR spot but he might actually come back. They said like this week. I saw some reports about that. Yeah, wow, this team. This is really his real bye week where he's gonna, he's got the jabroni lineup.
His kicker is projected to get more than everybody else on the team except the quarterback.
And he probably will. Yeah, he's got Gus the Bus, Dylan Pitt. This is a bad week. I mean,
Gus the Bust.
Yeah. Then again, they're giving Daniel Jones a 16-point projection in this game against Miami.
Get rid of Daniel Jones. What is going on with this Daniel Jones obsession?
Against Miami, by the way.
Is he going to pick up the Miami defense?
I mean, he should. Yeah, I think he should be
available. That would be a brilliant move. You just play that combo all season.
Yeah, just play the Giants quarterback and then the opposing defense every week. I think that's what he should do. Every time the Giants have the ball, he's going to score points because they're just going to sack him. I mean, so what? I mean, like, all right, what's he going to play here? Because I mean, Ayuk. He replaces Amari Cooper with Ayuk. I would think would be the natural thing. I mean, play Garoppolo, I guess. Why not? And then just find a defense. I mean, obviously, you got to pick Clever Name Pending here to go on a 2-game winning streak. Look at that. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously not going to get over 100 points. So my prediction of that will be his only week with plus 100. I think it still holds here.
Yeah,
but I do think he wins, or maybe not. I don't know. No, this team is terrible. No, I'm going with Clever Name Pending in this game.
Yeah,
me too.
It's a 50-50 shot with two guys. You're spotting him, two guys. Come on. I mean, is there anything here that? I mean, the Daniel Jones thing. I mean, no. As long as he puts in Garoppolo, although Najee Harris
Jones, it's fine to play him as long as you pick.
And Breece Hall is going against Denver. He's going to have a great game. Is Cooper Kupp's not coming back yet, right? But Nakua going against Philadelphia. I know. Clever Name Pending. He's going to have performances. No, I'm looking at him. He's going to win this game. You might. He might actually break 100. I doubt it, but maybe. Anybody picking lightning rounds in this game?
No.
Yeah.
That's what
All right.
everybody's playing.
Yeah. All right. Where shall we go next? We can go top down if we want. Or we can go bottom up. I mean, my God. Let's just start at this horse whipping that's about to happen.
Is this another 87 points with everybody playing? What's going on this week?
Yes. Oh. Did you just make who made a move? Somebody just made a move.
Is this considered insider trading? Because the rest of the league hasn't.
This is what I said. Everything. I bet you. I bet it's you. Yep. I knew that you would just do something mid podcast. There you go. See. Told you. Not
dropped Fryer Moose got hurt. So
I care less about that move. Anyway,
it's nothing spicy over here. Picking up scraps from who am I picking? Hunter, where was he a scrap from?
I think I did it once. We were like, I noticed something and I picked it up mid podcast. It's not unusual. Yeah, so Josh Allen traveling all the way to London to go play Jacksonville. I just don't. I don't think that Buffalo is going to have that great a game with Jacksonville having been in England, adjusted to the time zone the entire time, and then Buffalo's just going to come across. I just don't think they're going to have that great a game. I think that Jacksonville's actually going to have a good game this week. So. The one player that might
could go either way, though, Dave. It could.
I mean, it could. Yeah. As Dr. Hockey says all the time, this is like reading the tea leaves. I'm not. He doesn't. He calls this type of fantasy for like playing fantasy football like this, like you're playing the Force. Look at the numbers. This is what he's constantly saying. Look at the numbers. Stop playing the Force. Stop playing. That's what he'll say. So. I don't know. Pickens against Baltimore, Waddle against the Giants. I mean, Waddle against the Giants would theoretically do. I mean, Pollard against San Francisco. That's a tough matchup there. Breida against Miami. I mean, there's just nothing good going on over there. I mean, he's got to drop to Pittsburgh against Baltimore. Ugh. Zamunda just looks terrible. And then Dr. Aki, I mean, Mahomes against Minnesota, so you have one of the weakest secondaries. I mean, Mahomes should have a great game. You have Tyreek Hill against the Giants. You have A-Chain against the Giants. I mean, Hockey could set the record this week. I'm looking at this. Dealing at Detroit, Josh Jacobs.
I'll bet you Cole Kmet gets like 3 points this week because he's not playing me.
Yeah, I mean, that's possible, but then you can still put in Higbee against Philadelphia. Wonder if he's still shopping love. I mean, whatever. I mean, like, no. Hockey, he's already an 80-20 favorite. And everybody, there's no buys that are affecting this projection or anything else in this. I think clearly this not only is this a win, this might be the lock of the week for me because
this would be the upset of the century.
Lock of the week.
I mean, anybody picking Zamunda in this? Anybody want to go on?
This projection and the way these teams are stacked up looks like me versus you in our championship game, Dave.
Which one?
Remember when I picked up Antonio Gates?
Yeah.
This was the lineup lopsided.
Yeah,
Dave steamrolled everybody and had this kind of team.
Yeah.
It was already lighting a cigar.
Yeah, Dave, this is my lock of the week also.
Yeah.
Doc Hockey's on a roll, man. It's a good shot at winning this thing. His team's just rolling.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought Antonio Brown was going to get old, and he's just not.
AJ Brown.
What did I say? Antonio Brown. I was thinking. Sorry. Yes.
Antonio Brown has gotten old and crazy. But yes, AJ Brown. No, I mean, and Jacobs is coming. If he comes on, I mean, he finally has some running back, whatever. I mean, but last time that we said that, Hockey's just looking whatever is when he lost to you, and he had a terrible he didn't even break 100. But I mean, this time, I mean, come on. I think he's winning here.
Those guys are all popping right now.
Yeah.
I might be able to leapfrog Nick for the 1-4 basement.
I think you might actually be able to. You just have to have a.
We'll both lose, but I think I'll get a little more points.
Yeah, I think you could actually move up in the losers bracket right up there. You know.
Okay, we're going with the fan early.
Oh no, I can't go there. Come on, you're playing. I thought you just did. It was hockey that played him, right? Because I feel like this game already happened. Yeah, we can't go here. Sorry. We said the activation word. So we're going from the bottom up. Nick and Jamie versus the Detroit Whalers. Well, you got Cousins against KC and Hurts against the Rams. I don't have a feeling on that game generally. Chase, I mean, so Cincinnati has been doing nothing. I've had no Bengals, but I know the memes. I've seen the memes, so clearly Cincinnati has been terrible.
I got Higgins. He's been hit or miss.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Chase 26 and 14. I saw the Chase
How much should he pay for Chase? No, you can just go to click on the player.
Where?
Like click on the little notes thing next to him to the right. Yeah, click there and then click history.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God. There's so much that you know about this. I don't even know. Is this new?
No, that's been there for fucking forever. But that's how I've always looked. Like, is this guy worth anything? What did somebody pay for this in the draft?
Wow, this is so convenient.
Dropping pro tips on you.
Yeah, and I'm learning so much. I think the reason why I don't know any of this is because I usually look at this stuff on the app. Like this is like the one time of the week where I actually look at it on the computer. So I have no idea what.
Yeah, there's stuff that would slip between the cracks in the app, but this,
Yeah. Wow, that's so interesting.
Yeah,
and
try to look at like what's the history of this guy? Like who dropped him? When did he?
Oh my God, where's Justice Hill? Actually, now that you tell me this, I'm fascinated by this. We can go back to this game in a second, but I just want to, because we've been talking about Geese and I've been let's see, Justice.
Yeah, if you're curious on a player, like I feel like he jumped around, and like obviously it'd be a lot of work to figure it out, but you just click on the history tab and it tells you exactly what happened.
Look at his history.
So added for $0, dropped. Added for $0, dropped. Added for
That's a whore, right? That's not even a $2 whore. That's a $0 whore.
Zero. Nobody has spent a dime on it. And how many teams has he been on? First of all, he just keeps going back and forth between Gronky Kong and hockey. They've been running a train on this guy.
Gronky Kong's particularly fetish with this guy.
Yeah, they just keep tag teaming this guy. And yeah, so Gronky Kong 0-0. No, wait. No, they both spent.
Wait, is this the first week he hasn't been passed around?
I think so. Wow.
He must have some type of STD. They want to let it clear.
Wait, what's happening? Where were we? I don't even know how to use the back button now. I'm showing my age. Oh, yeah, this is where we're. Okay, great. I'm so fascinated by this new thing that I found out. This is great.
You're welcome. Merry Christmas.
I know. Thank you.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah. Shalom. Mixon, has he been doing anything? He hasn't done anything. I mean, so there's Bengals in this game. Etienne has been fine. Goddard has been a disappointment. Kelsey's been, he's been good. He hasn't been like with normal Kelsey numbers. 12, 19, 2, 12, He's playing Pacheco over here. So right now, Nick and Jamie are the projected favorites. I'm still standing by my thought that the Jaguars are going to have a decent game. So I think Ridley does okay. Debo, is he finally coming back? Oh no, he's been here. What's happening with him? Questionable, may not play due to knee. Slated to be limited Wednesday. But I mean, he clearly played already, so I don't know. I don't really have any thoughts on this game other than I think the Whalers might actually win this.
Yeah, let's give it to the Whalers. Why not?
I mean, Nick and Jamie have just been not that great. They don't. I mean, Miles Sanders and I mean, is Aaron Jones going to be like at full strength next week? Because Las Vegas is not good. They could get some points there.
Big tight advantage. And big tight end advantage.
Yeah, definitely a big tight end advantage.
The problem is if they wait, they don't have anybody else to put in there.
Well, I mean, I think Aaron. Oh, you mean for Sanders?
No,
what are we talking about? No, I think Aaron Jones. He came back last
It's a
week.
10 a.m. game also.
What?
Sanders game is a 10 a.m. game.
Well, but that's 10 a.m. These are all Pacific time because it's all on off of my thing. So it's gonna be the 1 p.m. game. Anything? Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't realize they're playing another game at 10
Yeah,
a.m.
yeah, no. If you like see Calvin Ridley, that's
also.
Calvin Ridley's the London game. That's the 6:30 a.m. game. So, like,
did you guys comment on the Andy's play game or whatever? The Pixar game?
Well, even what was it? Whalers last week was like, he messaged the group or something. He's like, he asked me if I'm awake, which I wasn't because I didn't have anybody in that game and I just didn't care. But like, I've definitely woken up for London games before. It doesn't like if I have players, but
did you see the actual like kid version of it that they broadcast on ESPN Plus?
Is that what they did? Is that what the Toy Story thing is? I'm so far behind.
They played the whole game like that.
Did they? That's what that's from? Okay.
Yeah. They showed a lot of highlights, but like you could actually watch the whole game like that.
So where did they show that?
On ESPN Plus, I think.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right.
I mean, there was also the real broadcast.
Right.
Then there was like the kids broadcast.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll wake up early this Sunday.
I don't know if they're doing it again.
Well, then
I think it was just that one-time thing last week.
Yeah. Well, then I'm not going to wake up early this. I mean, it was clearly a hit because I saw all the the stuff for it.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. I mean, like there was like animations and stuff. It wasn't just like It looked like the players moving around the field. Like, did a good job with it.
Interesting. Well, I don't have any plans on waking up this week, but yeah.
I would hope you do wake up in general.
Yeah, I would hope so too.
I wouldn't say I don't have plans to wake
up. I would hope
up
my team wakes up too, also as well. I'm going with Whalers. I don't know why. Nick and Jamie just haven't impressed me much this year. I mean, Aaron Jones could make the difference with him being back if he plays well against a terrible Raiders run defense.
It's a toss-up.
I changed it to Nick and Jamie. I'm going Nick and Jamie.
Are you? Well, any reason why, or is just?
It looks. I mean, on paper, they players, but the Bengals have been terrible this season. I don't know.
So
Jones, I mean, they got Kelsey. I mean, look at this. They got people who should be doing something. Kelsey against Minnesota. Minnesota is terrible against the pass.
Yeah, I mean that. All right, so Kelsey. All right, so we're looking at Kelsey, Aaron Jones, even Chase against Arizona.
Now, Arizona is surprisingly good against the pass.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but he's got Brown for Arizona in that game, which
so look,
Marquise Brown. So he's you know what? Maybe I'm going to switch. Maybe I'm going to pick Nick and Jamie in this game. Yeah, I think I might. Well, Debo and Ridley, Mixon, what has he done? Has he done anything? He's done a little. Etienne, I have liked Etienne. But then the matchup in Godert, Pacheco. Wow, really? But now he's going against Minnesota. Okay.
Well, he's gonna really do good in 2 weeks.
I know. This is a good game. Now that I'm looking at this, now that I'm actually paying some attention, this is going to be a good game. I think I'm switching. I think I'm going to go to Nick and Jamie. I think they're going to win. I think they have more upside.
I mean, they have the Dallas defense too.
Yeah, that's true. Then they have the Dallas defense just sitting there waiting to get them 30 points.
Mm-hmm. Well, Buffalo got 32 for Whalers too.
Oh, that's true. Woof. This could be a
This is a battle of defensive juggernauts.
Plus, Whalers picked up Moody, which he outbid me for that. That was a big deal.
Was it?
I mean, it was like 5 minutes of chat in a.
He's like, was it that big a deal?
In a boring week, it was a big deal. It was a big deal.
He didn't even help himself. He didn't even hold back. Was it that big a deal?
It was a big deal in 3 Years Nation. Yeah, I'm gonna go Nick and Jamie. I've changed my mind. I think I'm gonna pick this as my upset of the week until I see further evidence of. But right now, I'm gonna go Nick and Jamie. I'm gonna play like clever name pending, where I'm gonna pick both the team to win and their opposition, their defense. All right. So do we have our picks in? So you're picking Nick and Jamie, and are you sticking with Whalers?
No, I'll go Nick and Jamie also.
All right. Look.
Wow, the first ever 3 people switch sides.
Yeah, there you go. Wow. So
I'm just gonna make Whalers happy.
All right. Did we do this game?
Yeah,
that's where we started. I'm like, yeah, we've seen this horrid game already. All right, Hackettstown's Finest versus. Well, do you want to go? Or do you want to go? It doesn't matter. What do you think's happening in this game? So you are favored, 113 to 102. This would have been a great game. This would have been a great podcast to have the commissioner on, but no. He decided to duck out. He's too afraid of you. He's ducking you.
He's so dedicated to the league too.
I know. He's dedicated to spending his money on a parlay, all of our money on a parlay, so that he could earn interest off it.
I'm realizing at the moment I'm going to need a kicker.
Sure. See, you just made fun of us for the big deal on the kicker, and now look at this. Look who needs a kicker right now. I hear Gay's available.
Apparently, you don't need a kicker. It's 113 to 102 with your kicker spot.
Yeah, you're already favored without a kicker. And by the way, speaking as somebody who lost points from his kicker, maybe you don't.
It's a valid strategy. I'll have to think about it. I'll probably end up picking one up though. But my team is so stacked, I don't know who to let go to pick up this other kicker.
Yeah, look at that.
I got to let go of my existing kicker. He hasn't really been knocking.
Has he done anything?
7, 7, 8, 8.
No, he got 11, 10, 3, 6.
I was looking at projections. The first 2 weeks he was good, and then it's like ever since.
And it looks like he's got some difficult matchups coming up. Yeah, I think you could probably get rid of your the Dicker.
31, 30th coming up. Yeah,
you could get rid of the Dicker and get the Gay or McAnus. What is with these kickers' names? Is there anything non
Butker,
Dicker, McAnus, Gay?
It's a lot.
That is a lot.
Imagine if Kimmel just picked up gay themed players. If McAnus was like a running back, Butker was like a wide receiver, and Gay was a quarterback. You didn't say anything about team each week. Like you've got an interesting team here.
Oh, look, there's a notification. Maybe I should refresh this window and see what's happening. Look at that. He's already got a kicker. Look at that, gentlemen. Look at how much so boosted up to 65. Yeah, 60. Prater, I pray to you, man. All right. So there you go.
You have to be on the podcast. You can make insider moves like us.
Click on Prater for a second.
Sure. You want to? Do you need another refreshment? We could drop him if he didn't do too well. 12, 9.
Look at his next couple games.
That's definitely. Look at that.
Right, that lined up fucking perfect.
There you go. See, all right. That's what I looked at.
I've been playing like the top 2 defense.
That's what I looked at when I picked up Gay, and he got -1. But
okay.
Why are
you're saying sit the kicker? No kicker.
I have no idea. I historically I've been terrible with kicker. I've never known what to do with them. I usually just stick with them, and then it doesn't matter. I'm so bad.
Why did they even bother to have Green for kickers? Yeah, against that team, he kicked the ball. That's his job every week.
For what?
What's the Green matchup for a kicker?
I mean, probably that they give, that they
How many
like
points they give up to kickers?
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, it probably means that the defense can hold them like in the red zone. Like they let them go to the red zone and then they stop them there. Like I would think that's what it would generally mean. Is that, or you're just terrible and you're giving up 70
goals get kicked against that team?
Right? Yeah, exactly. I mean, yes.
That is what it is.
Yes. No, I know. Literally, that is what it is. All right.
Some concerns about this game, though.
You do have some concerns about this game?
Yeah, Kyron Williams banged up.
Look, Stroud. I will say this: Atlanta has been good against quarterbacks, I believe. I mean, 16th. So I don't know. I still think Stroud. I think they throw the ball. I think he's going to be fine. Jefferson against KC. I mean, Jefferson's just too good. It doesn't matter. He'll be fine.
Not worried about him.
Pittman against Tennessee.
He fell off a cliff this week.
Yeah, but I mean, he's going against Tennessee, who's sixth, whatever. I think he should be fine.
Should be okay. I'm feeling pretty okay about that one.
Yeah, Robinson, Bijan. I mean, he's been great all season long going against Houston. And then Cook. He's been surprisingly good too.
He's been consistent.
Yeah.
Stole him from me.
What did I pay for him? No, I paid $12 for him in the draft.
For Cook?
Cook, yeah.
I mean, we can now we can look at this. Look at this. Wow. Kyron Williams. What's the cue there? May not play due to hip.
Yeah, this is the one I'm a little worried about.
Interesting.
He's been my workhorse. It says right here he's had more touches than McCaffrey so far this year.
Interesting.
Isn't it?
25 carries. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, do you have anybody to replace him if need be? Cool. Well, let's see. That game's happening at
4.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Yeah. But I mean, you have you have Robinson, but that's the Thursday night game, so you can't play him. Yeah, you kind of. That sucks.
It does. I mean, I'd have to. I mean, he's in my swing spot, so I could replace him with one of my wide receivers down there,
right?
Sutton or Mims.
Yeah.
Or Higgins, I guess I could replace him with Higgins.
True, but I mean, we've seen
Higgins is hurt too.
Yeah.
Fractured rib.
Sutton, you could put Sutton in. Has he done anything? I mean,
yeah, he's had some
got a tough matchup, but yeah, you could put him in. Mims
the word on this guy.
Yeah. I picked him up because he had 2 good weeks, 20 and 16.
He does the bare Mimsimal.
Well, the one game he only had 2 catches, but he had 20 points.
I'm surprised he didn't go for $100 in this league.
Yeah,
2
exactly.
catches, 113 yards.
2 catches, 100. Get him for 109.
I picked him up for $6.
Yeah, so I mean, like, okay, well, let's look at Manny's team. So he's got Purdy going against Dallas. I think that's a tough matchup. He's got Mumra going versus Carolina. What's the cue there for him? He's got abdomen.
He had that last week. It doesn't. He always.
All right, so fine.
Unlike Josh Reynolds.
Gabe Davis. I mean, this guy just keeps scoring. I mean, this guy's been ridiculous. I mean, ever since I made fun.
But look at his Pizzle numbers. It's always a touchdown.
Yeah.
10 points with a touchdown.
No, 15. It's the projection. So 15. Oh, you're talking about that one. Yeah.
Before.
Yeah, I guess. The non-Taylor Swift.
Good, Madden.
I mean, this is. I mean, you definitely have a. No, even this guy's been fine. I mean, we all know that I like to see Manny do poorly. God. The arrogance of Man. I don't like to, because Manny's so arrogant. I don't like to see him do well, especially when he's not on the podcast. And I could actually freely say this because he's never going to watch it. Although it's not true. He does watch. He does watch.
Yeah, he does watch doing work when he's supposed to do his job.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh, no. Well, I mean, the cat's out of the bag. But I know he roots against me too, so,
No, he roots for injuries. He doesn't root for
Well, he likes to see a little Dave suffering, though. Well, I know that he does. I mean, although I will say,
I'm gonna try in this one.
I'm gonna take. I think it moved to. I think, especially if Williams plays. I mean, I think. I mean, the logic says that you're gonna win this game.
I pick myself.
Yeah. But yeah.
It's the Williams Q showdown. Which Williams will play?
Yeah, that's true. Which Williams?
Which Williams will you take to be out?
Yeah.
We should both play Williams roulette. Regardless of what happens, you're playing them. Even if it changes to out, oh well.
This would be the kind of stuff that one could discuss if the commish made an appearance on the show, but I think you're going to get the podcast bump. Look at what happened to hockey last week. You're going to get the bump. The fantasy gods like people coming on the podcast, and they frown upon commissioners who do not show up. I think you got the win here.
Thanks, Dave.
Well, here's the thing: if you play Dave and show up on the podcast, you're going to get at least 150.
Right.
And then you get the Hagler's bump at least 170.
Right.
When you play me. So
right.
It's good. It's good. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah. If you're, so we should, we'll put it out there. If you're needing a win, if you need a boost in your point total, make sure you come by and get your podcast bump. All right. Well, that leaves us with 2 games left. So the 1603ers versus Gronky Kong. 50-50 on this one. 113-112. So picked up Howell against Chicago. We're going to know. Well, I mean, Thursday.
Redskin heavy tomorrow night.
I only have 2. I mean, they're going against the Bears. It's the right play. Look, I got some buys. My entire 3 right there on a buy. Look, we got Michael Thomas going against New England. I mean, I just, there's not many options here. I mean, McCaffrey has a tough matchup against Dallas. I think Mostert's projection is high against the Giants, though. I mean, with the A chain going in there, but I don't have anybody to replace. I
mean, put up 45 2 weeks ago. So.
I know, but he fumbled last week, and once you're a fumbler, I think unfortunately, I think the A chain is leaving the station, and Mostert's just gonna be. I mean, maybe he comes about. I mean, that's why I'm playing him, but we'll see. Hawkinson against Kansas City. I don't really even know about that. And then I'm actually kind of worried about Nico Collins against Atlanta. They've been good against wide receivers. I don't know. I picked up just in case. We'll see how I feel. I never do this though. But Westbrook. I mean, he's got the Indianapolis secondary who's atrocious. So I thought about playing him. I'm leaving him there to tempt myself. But I don't know.
That could work out for you.
It could. I mean, he's so interesting. What? I mean, if you look at his numbers, he's got
6 times last week.
What?
He's targeted 6 times last week.
Yeah, and Indianapolis. I mean, look at Nakua. I don't know, but I mean, Nico Collins gets so many target. This is the tough decision I'm trying to make. I mean, forget about what the projections say. I don't really care. I mean, you also still have Traylon Burks out with the foot.
I would go with the guy who looks like he's from a Key and Peele sketch. His name, that is.
No, I know. I know. Ron.
Oh, McCringleberry. I remember
Yeah,
that sketch.
man.
Yeah, no. One of the best things they ever did.
So I don't know. I might that might he might go in. We'll see. He's also got Richardson playing, so that's the opposite team. We'll see if I want to get involved in that game. All right, and then he's got Devontae Adams going against Green Bay on Monday night. Oh, great. So why is it? Well, he might as well just play one of the defenses on Monday night and just continue the luck. So obviously Devontae Adams is going to have a massive Monday night because everybody, on Monday night, fuck me.
Would be a Dave game unless his opponent had
exactly. I'm not sweating it out on Monday. CD Lamb against San Francisco. CD Lamb, how's he been doing? Yeah, he's fine. He's good. Pierce. He's coming up, though. He's got Atlanta. It's a tough matchup. Montgomery after last week, he's playing him. I mean, if he has that kind of game, he could, keep up with the running backs. Jonnu Smith. He had a good game going against Houston this week. I don't know. And then you got Devonta Smith. See how that goes against the Rams. I don't know. And then really the important things in the game versus me is the special teams. I mean, Baltimore going against Pittsburgh. I mean, that's see, like, this is when I said, like, the strategy from week to week. I mean, Pittsburgh was atrocious. Like, I mean, what did Houston end up getting? Where is it? Let's see. My computer wants to be slow right now, but let's see. Houston last week. Not Dennis Houston. I'm pretty sure Dennis Houston didn't do that well last week. Yeah, 12 last week. I mean, so
the teams have been playing good. They won their last 2 games.
Texans. I know, but I'm saying Houston against Pittsburgh. So he has the reason why I looked at it is because he's got the defense. He's got Baltimore, who's going against Pittsburgh. So, chance for a lot of points right there. I mean, I always pick my opponent anyway, but I think he might actually win this. Why not?
Gronky Kong on this one. He's putting Montgomery in there finally. I think Dave has too much firepower. I'm going with Dave.
Where's the firepower? Let me know.
It's the McCaffrey show. I mean, he gets 48 a week. That should be more than enough.
He's got a tough matchup against Dallas this week.
Yeah, then he'll get 47.
Mostert? I mean, you think Mostert's going to get,
with the A chain? Yeah, whatever. It's fine.
I don't know. I'm, and Richardson, I mean, I don't know. I'm nervous about, like, you were nervous about your game. I'm nervous about this game.
Yeah. You have a little bit of reason to be nervous.
Yeah.
See, this is what happens when you're 4-0. You have reason to care.
You could look down upon the league and go, well, let's see. What are those? What are the underlings doing?
You can tell how good your season's going. How far away am I from the Hagler's record?
I mean, he's as far as one can be.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll enjoy it while the record's good, but I know it doesn't last all the time. So.
When was the last time he didn't make the playoffs?
I would have to look it up. I didn't even remember I was in second place 6 years ago.
So yeah. So who are you picking? I will not be insulted if you pick him. Don't worry. I'm not even picking me. You're the
I think it's a toss-up, but for the reasons you're concerned, I'll give the edge to Gronky Kong.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
I think McCaffrey's going to go off again against Dallas.
Yeah.
Mostert, you have reason to be worried that he's going to take a back seat again.
Yeah.
I agree. I think 13 points is probably a little high for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think like next week is because Eckler's coming back. We got a lot of stuff happening next week, but I just think that this week it's been concerned. It's concerning. So, all right, and that moves us on to the fans game.
Oh, I get to play the fan. That's right.
Fan is favored.
I would.
What do you see happening here? So you got Goff against.
Is it a surprise that the fan is favored?
I mean, who wouldn't be favored against you? So you're going with Atwell there? Is this the last week before Cup comes back? How did Atwell do last week?
Not very well against the Indianapolis defense that I thought would be giving it up.
Yeah, that gives me cause for pause on what do you call it? On playing Iko Waiko on a McCringleberry over there. If Atwell is only getting 7.4, I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with Nico Collins. Thank you. You just made my decision for me. I'm not gonna stress it. I'm just gonna do that. All right.
You're not gonna play McCringleberry?
No, I'm not playing McCringleberry. McCringleberry's sitting out this week.
Wilson, so Denver, that's a good pick. That's gonna pay off for him.
What is?
Wilson playing against Denver.
Yeah, that's definitely. So he's got Jackson going against Lamar Jackson going against Pittsburgh. He's got Garrett Wilson going against Denver. He's got Zay Flowers going against Pitt. I mean, the matchups here, just the top three are really good for Eugene. Now you do have DeAndre Hopkins going against Indianapolis, and they, as I said, they had the terrible secondary, so I think that's a good play there. You've got Atwell going against Philadelphia, which is also, by the way, a good matchup, even though like last week he didn't do that well. You got Goff against Carolina. Carolina, how are they against quarterbacks? Yeah, they're pretty good. I remember them being good because they were the ones who shut down Derek Carr and everything. I mean, not that it's that hard, but I'm just saying I remember it sticks in my mind. So Kamara against New England, and then Derrick Henry against Indianapolis. I think, actually, I mean, you're not. I mean, I could. So your team looks like a team this week. I mean, you may be able to keep pace with him. Like, all right, so he's got Madison against KC. So Madison finally has been, playing well. He's got a tough matchup against KC. You got Gibbs, who hasn't been doing that well. Andrews against Pittsburgh, though. I think that this is, he's even though they don't give it up to the tight end. I mean, I just think Pittsburgh's terrible, and Lamar Jackson's going to do well there. James Conner against Cincinnati. I think that's a smart play. I mean, Conner's been pretty. Never mind. I mean, well, since whatever. And then Watson. Okay. Who do we have as a? I keep getting the notifications all the time. I think this is like your reminder to go play stuff. Let's see. What is 3 notifications? Oh wait, this one was from Geese. This wasn't from you. So you just dropped. Added Houston and dropped Cincinnati. Is that because of my advice on the
No, I just
Well, all right, let's refresh it. Let's see. And that dropped you, actually. Oh, wait, no. You got to put them in so that, I mean, I'm assuming that you're going to play the defense.
Yeah, I mean, you can refresh it again.
There you go. All right, let's see. Now we have it basically kept it the same. All right. And then Elliot, who's been fantastic.
I love podcast insider trading.
It's no insider trading. It's just you happen to be awake thinking about it. Why not? This is a really actually toss-up game. I think that you have an advantage at running back. Kittle. God, other than that
of course, the one. So I played Kittle. The one game I bench him.
Right.
One catch for 9 yards, Kittle. Whew, we needed that.
And Waller against Miami. What do you do here? I mean, he's actually had better numbers than Kittle, like overall. But
That Giants offense is pitiful.
I know they're so terrible. That's the thing.
Speaking of terrible, that neck tattoo.
What's that?
His neck tattoo.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
Waller.
I know it is terrible. This is a really difficult game to pick. I mean, with Eugene being not very good this season, we haven't heard much from him, which is why we don't need to give 1,000-page apologies or whatever else. So I might actually be able to pick against him. And
this is a battle for the basement.
The interesting thing, this is a battle for the basement. Interestingly enough, you will be playing him next week in Madden for the battle for the top. So you're playing top and bottom with him. Which are you more focused on?
I'm not focused on this shite team.
I feel like he's more of a power bottom.
I mean, Eugene would be a power whatever if he. I think I'm going to pick Ease. I think that you're running back I think that you have some I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to pick the upset here. I think that you might actually be able to pick. I think. I mean, I think this is going to be. I think that the scores are going to be higher than the projections in both for both of your teams. I mean, the real thing is maybe Lamar might outplay Goff, and I don't know. It's tough. I'm going to pick you in the for the upset here.
Well, I mean, this is the best, quote unquote, best team we can field. I'm going to pick myself in this one. Hopefully, we do something.
Yeah, I'll go with you. Yeah, I agree with the same reasons Dave said. Running back tandem, they at some point they've both got to come alive and have a good week for it.
All right. So I think we have our locks of the weeks and our upsets of the week. So my lock of the week is going to be obviously Prime Time versus Zamunda. I don't think.
Oh yeah, that's come on.
And then my upset of the week is you versus Eugene.
I mean, lock of the week, absolutely. Any Dr. Hockey demolishing Nick, and then upset of the week is me versus Eugene.
Yeah, I mean, and who did you have? You were picking somebody for the upset, I think. Who you said it earlier, didn't you? I mean, I don't pay attention to the conversations that I have, but I know I remembered being in there somewhere. Look, you said something like, "Oh, this is something." Maybe you picked an upset or something. You picked something at some point.
That happened minutes ago.
God, one of us has to start paying attention to the conversations that we're having because I certainly don't.
That's why we're going to record them.
Yeah, exactly. Manny can tell us tomorrow when he listens to it. What else do we do on this program? I don't even know. I'm so tired. I you can tell that I'm mentally defeated from the loss. I can't even. It's been. Oh, it's devastating. It's devastating this week.
I mean, you plan all week, and at least when you get demolished by me, it's fine. It's over. But for you to lose, the way you've lost on Monday night.
That's what it is. And the teams that I'm losing, it's just. Yeah. I don't know what to say. Like, it's just taking me out of you're catching me on the week where I'm just drained from just devastating.
It's like losing to Matt the Sabres and WrestleMania Man in the same season.
Exactly.
Back-to-back weeks.
Exactly. By uncanny moves by them too. My God.
And both of them forgot to set their lineups.
Yeah. Or the deity, the deity's denizens or what. I mean, my God. It's what it feels like. After the Nick one, and then seeing it happen again, and I think I even said something. Didn't I say something at some point, about, I saw the train. I know that I said it the week before. Also, it's been 3 stressful Monday nights. One of them, at least, we went to our opponent's house and beat them, so that felt slightly satisfying. Is that what I'm gonna have to do? I'm just gonna have to take trips across the country to everybody's house On the weeks that I play, that's the only way that I can overcome anything. It's just so devastating. Where Rhode Island? Do I have to go to Rhode Island this week? We've never even met Hirsch. I don't even think he exists. He's the burner team. But like still, I'm gonna have to go to an imaginary house in Rhode Island where Manny just happens to be moving to the same place that his burner team, lives because he is the burner team.
Yeah, and your GPS is going to be a cornfield when you finally arrive. You have arrived at your destination.
Exactly.
It's a burnt down warehouse. It's an abandoned warehouse. I'm sorry, is Hirsch here? Knock, knock, knock. According to Manny Freeman, this is Hirsch's house. There was an Asian-looking guy here a couple months ago staking the place out. No, that's my friend's house. You just put it wrong in the GPS.
I don't know, but we got a bunch of fantasy football players just hanging out here.
Yeah, we called the cops on this Asian guy. He ran back into his car and drove away. We never saw him again.
He just takes the mail and leaves.
This is the address of one Hirsch Patel.
Yeah, I'm going to lose to the burner team this week.
You're going to lose to the abandoned warehouse.
I'm going to get burned by the burner team.
This building was an arson investigation 6 months ago. Also coincides with the address of one Hirsch Patel.
All right. I have nothing else.
You're the second visitor this year. There was an Asian guy several months ago. It's funny. He looked at the building at like 4 a.m. and drove away.
Didn't he play his burner team? Didn't he win his championship against his burner team?
Isn't that convenient? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's weird. He always manages to, or no, this time he lost to the burner team. He had to, whatever. I don't know. Well, his burner team
is trying to get both teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's trying to get,
Yeah, so what does he need this week? I mean, he definitely needs a win from the burner team. Oh, he'll get it. Don't worry. I'll be screwed on Monday night again.
But his team isn't going to beat my team.
No. Well, I mean, that's where he's going to make up for it. He's focusing on the burner team this week. He can't focus on both, all the time. So this week is a burner week. All right. I got nothing else.
Thanks for having me, guys.
I'm gonna wallow in my depression and hopefully pick myself up off the canvas. Good to talk to you.
Good, Dave. Your team's good. You're fine.
Yeah,
and you're the number one unluckiest team with points against.
I'd rather be lucky than good. And I'd rather be unlucky and bad. So
cheers.
Well, this has been the good, the bad, and the ugly.
It looks like a 3-course meal. He's finishing up with dessert now.
I did eat about 6 things, I'll be honest.
Yeah, your appetizer was cheese. We had some cheese.
Podcast is so long, he has a full meal.
Exactly.
I mean, we've been on for like 2 hours, yeah.
It's shorter than last week's 5-hour marathon. With Dr. Hockey with his shades just talking for like forever. Well, anyway, yeah, I think that's about that about does it for the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right.
Thanks.
Catch you next week. Thanks for joining us, and yeah. See ya.
Good luck to your teams.
All right, good luck, sir.